Hello, hello, hello. It is Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Successfully. Successfully is an elite accountability practice, so that makes me your personal professional butt kicker. I certainly hope that your week is off to a phenomenal start. I hope that you are living your best life, that October is, we're like more than halfway through October. I hope that October is living up to expectation. I hope that October is giving you all the thrills. I hope it gives you all the thrills. So, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. The whole rationale behind this live stream that we do weekly is that we really want to serve, right? So, like, we are passionate about supporting coaches and consultants on building their business and the way that you can really get that scale so that you have the option of transitioning out of your corporate work if you're doing it part-time, to like building so you can hire a team, or that you can kind of have that financial freedom, because there's financial independence and there's financial freedom. There are all these different things that you can build. But I think that we have to think about it from the perspective of what's the most direct route there. What's the most direct route there? And so we have kind of overhauled our community so that we can address the piece of the puzzle that I feel that a lot of newer coaches and even coaches that have been in it and consultants that have been in it for a while that we kind of skip over is the ideal of developing what I like to call that platinum effect. Right? That platinum effect is that perfect alignment, excuse me, that perfect alignment between having your niche, or having that what I like to call a PPC, your potential platinum client, having that really clearly flushed out and really intimately understanding their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations, as well as their challenges. And then having that platinum offer, having that high ticket, high touch offer that you can connect with that potential platinum client, right? Where that you're meeting their needs, you're solving their clients, you're solving their challenges, but you're also helping them walk over that transformation bridge so they can get from where they are to where they want to be, to get to that aspirational place in their journey. And whether that's fitness, whether that's wealth building, whether that's business coaching, whatever that is, and whatever your methodology is to get them there, kind of combining those two, right? And so we've been really hyper focused, and we will be for till we run, till I have don't have to say it again. We really are locking in on this particular concept, because if you already have clients and you're tired, right? I had a call today, and they were saying I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning working. Well, we can shift that. We can change that. And so last week I was waxing poetically. I was yelling on the internet again about how broke people aren't your clients. Broke people aren't your clients. I said it. And I ruffled a few feathers with that one, but I did overall get a lot of positive feedback. Like there were folks that were offended, and that's you fine, be offended. And then there were people that were like, I didn't think of it that way. So kind of building on that concept of, broke people aren't your clients. Let's turn the mirror. Let's look in the mirror, because this one is in your scope of control, right? This one is in your scope of control. And, again, at me if you don't want to hear this, at me if you don't think it's you, but also raise your hand if it is you, because there are some strategies we can put into place to kind of help shift the thinking around it and the positioning around it. Okay. So, what I want to talk about today, and don't be cheap, y'all. Don't be cheap. Cheap programs aren't the solution. Cheap programs aren't the solution. And here's what I mean by that. Here's what I mean by that. If you have ever had a consultation call, discovery call, strategy session, whatever you call it in your practice, and when you get to the part where you talk about the investment, notice I didn't say cost, the investment in your program. If you start sputtering, right? If you start sputtering and you start discounting, right? If you start discounting before the person even gives you an answer, right? or they tell you what you can afford, what they can afford, and you say yes to it. And this happens a lot for my consultants who, you get the big, you put the proposal together, you get feedback that, hey, this is the budget we have for it, and you give them everything in the proposal that is, now you're over servicing them because you're doing it at their budget, as opposed to taking some of those things off the table because they've reduced the budget, because the budgets don't align. So now, if you've been in that experience, go ahead and raise your hand, wave in the comments, say, hey, Keita, that's me. Where you've offered a discount, where you've changed the prices to meet the budget of the client, or you ask them what they can afford, and that's what you took for the project, or that's what you took for the coaching program. If you've done that one, be honest. Go ahead and raise your hand. Go ahead and say me. I've done it. I've done it too. I've done it too. And every time I've done that, as surely as my name is Keita Hiley Williams, I just told all of y'all my full government name. As surely as my first, middle, and last name, it has always been a problem. It has always been a problem. Always. Right? So, what I want you to kind of think about, because this is something in your scope of control, and it might be, it might require you to do a little internal work on some of your money blocks and some of your beliefs around value and self-worth. Because oftentimes the way that you have priced your services is a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself. So now, I cannot unpack childhood trauma on this live stream, but I want you to just step back for a moment. Step back for a moment. And are you pricing this? Are you positioning the investment and the value of your program based on how you feel about yourself and what you have to offer? Right? Are you basing that simply on the limitations of your own belief? Right? Just check in with yourself. And you don't have to answer that part. But I know when I first started my practice, I felt so much like a fish out of water. I knew I had something to contribute. I knew I had something to contribute. And I knew that it was valuable. But what I didn't know is that if people would trust me enough to spend that kind of money. Right? And I was a rookie. I felt like I was a rookie. And so I had to earn the right to charge high ticket investment and fees. I had to earn the right to do that as a coach. I had to earn that right. I felt like I had to earn it. And the reality is, take a moment, step back. Are you pricing? Are you positioning things based on your own hangups? Then the second thing I want you to think about, are you spending your clients' money for them? Right? Are you already putting your clients in a box and saying they can't afford this, so I'm just going to drop the price? Because that's not your job. It's not your job to spend your clients' money for them. It's not your job to decide what they can afford. It's not your job to try to understand their value system. That's not your job, right? Because we all have different value systems. And what's important to you, you will value, right? Just like you see folks that you don't know if they're working or not, but they got the iPhone 14 Pro, that is important to them. That's valuable. That's important. That's a priority for them to have that new phone, right? Or your clients that are maybe behind on a few invoices, you see them on vacation. That's important for them, right? And so I want you to just know that if it is valuable to your clients and it's important to them, they will invest. They will invest. So it's not your job to spend your clients' money. So really think about, am I, you know, positioning this because I have some money work I need to do? Do I need to do my own abundance work? Do I need to identify some of those limiting beliefs and work on my own programming, right? Do you need to do the internal work to get there? And then do you need to, maybe stop judging people? Because when we start spending other people's money and putting limitations on what they'll invest, we're actually judging them. We're judging their situation and their scenarios. That's not coming from a place of strength. That's coming from a place of negative energy. You know what I mean? So, like, those are some things to consider. Now, I will say, if you've done this before, where you've done and hi, Emery, you've done I've discounted to meet a budget, or I've discounted to try to help somebody, or you've done the wheeling and dealing, you've done the used car salesman thing. What I can say is that that leads to frustration, right? And you may find yourself rolling your eyes every time you got to talk to that client, or feeling like used up because you took on all of this work for such a discounted rate. And you could actually end up having bad feelings about that client, right? Or not having the same level of enthusiasm, the same level of enthusiasm that you have for your clients that are paying your full rate card, right? The other thing I want you to consider, when you start at a discounted rate, let's say they've done the whole program, they've done your whole program, or you finish the whole project. When it comes time to have a renewal conversation, it is harder to increase that rate because you've already given them such a significant discount, right? So just consider that. But also, I've had this happen multiple times, and I have since learned the lesson. I try to stay away from discounting, but I have given out scholarships in the past. And what I find is that adoption, the adoption and action behind a discounted program, we were seeing that those are the folks that had poor attendance, or they didn't take action. They had decent attendance but weren't actually taking action and moving their businesses forward, right? Because, you know, if it's money that you can afford to waste, you're less likely to take it very seriously. That's why gym memberships, if you're paying $50 a month on your gym membership, you're less likely to go show up, because, like, you can't even get a tank of gas for $50 now, right? And so I think that discounting and trying to meet everyone where they are, you actually end up doing a disservice to your clients, because some of them aren't going to put the effort in because it hasn't been positioned as something valuable to them, right? And so, we've seen that a few times where, they're just not doing the work, or they're just not showing up. And so that discounting, it can devalue your service in the eyes of the client, so they're not taking the action. And from a coaching perspective, coaching is only as good as the action that's taken. Coaching is only as good as the action that's taken, right? And that's the one thing you don't control. You don't control when your client actually executes on your recommendations, or when they actually put it into practice. You don't control that. And so, um if you discount, now you're giving them less reasons to take your insight seriously, and for them to take action. So, like, I want you to consider that discount piece from the fact that you could frustrate yourself and feel overwhelmed because you did this, you took on a project well out of scope. The budget and the scope were not aligned, and now you're frustrated and you're tired and you're angry, right? Or you have clients that aren't showing up and doing the work because they're not valuing it. So that cheap isn't the answer. you know I will tell you that I'm not going to be the cheapest one. I don't want to be the TJ Maxx of coaching. And y'all know I love TJ Maxx, and let me not besmirch the TJ Maxx. I don't want to be the TJ Maxx or the Ross of coaching. I want to be known as a great coach for a very specific type of client, right? So when you think about how you position yourself, you are not a big box retailer. You are not for everybody. You are not a Target or a Walmart where you are for everyone and you rely on the economy of scale. And you can do these deep discounts because you have the economy of scale, right? And I'm sure there's people that can do it at economy of scale and they can charge $100 for a training. That requires a whole lot of marketing and a whole lot of budget that we haven't got and time that we don't have just yet, right? And so I want you to think of yourself as an exclusive boutique, niche boutique, that you have to be a VIP to make an appointment at the boutique. That it's a white glove champagne when you walk in the room experience. I want you to think of your practice that way. You are not for everybody. No one in your practice is running around with vests with pockets in them with a name badge. No one in your practice is doing that, right? And so you are an exclusive boutique with VIP clients. And I want you to think of yourself that way. Because the reality, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. Hello, Chanel. Yes, Anne Marie Chanel, Hermes, the Louis Vuitton store. Yes, darling. Yes. But I'm going to say it. Everyone can live a full life without coaching. I don't advocate for that. So just the fact that you're a coach or consultant, because consultants are usually called in to solve a problem, a very specific problem that an organization doesn't have the capacity or the know-how to do, you are a luxury good, right? So coaching and even consulting work, at the very root of it, it is a luxury service because it's not medical care. It is not it's not food, it's not water, it's not a necessity. So the very fact you have an open sign on, you are a luxury boutique. You're offering a luxury service that people have to believe in and want to invest in, that they see it appreciating in value. Like a Chanel pillbox bag, right? And so I just want you to consider that the fact that you are offering these services that are not essential to survival, you are already in the luxury category. And I mean, you could call yourself accessible luxury. Even accessible luxury is still luxury, right? You can live a full life without this. You can strengthen your resolve. You can have a strategy. You can get to where you're going a lot faster. You can negotiate that salary differently. You can reinvent your career. You can grow your business. You can recommit yourself to your health. You can finally hit your goal weight. You can do all those things with a coach. But the reality is coaching is a luxury. And so I want you to behave like it. It is a luxury service. Luxury services are for a very specific type of demographic. Right? There it is. It's a luxury service no matter who you serve. No matter who you serve. If you have a coaching sign on and you have consultant behind your name or coach behind your name, it is a luxury experience. And so I want you to behave like that luxury exclusive niche boutique that services high-end clientele. It's all right. You already are in the luxury category. Might as well act like it. And my parting words today, and thank you for hanging in with me. Thank you. And thank you for joining this live stream. Is that value is in the eye of the beholder. You have to know you're worth it. You have to know that you're good at this. You have to know that you have so much to offer the world. You have so much to offer your clients. You have to know that. You have to know it. And you have to be able to translate that value to your potential clients, right? So you have to remember what it is that you provide them and the outcomes that they'll receive, the wins that they'll have, the byproducts of working with you. Where, yes, we'll help you get 20 clients in 12 months or less, but that'll also increase your confidence. Right? That'll also increase your confidence. That will also help you make different choices. You can choose to leave your full-time job. You can choose to work from anywhere. You'll know how to fish no matter what's going on in the global economy. You'll know how to go out and generate revenue regardless of what's going on in the world. You have to know that that's valuable. And to the people, to your, as I like to call them, potential platinum clients, what you bring to their lives, because it's bigger than that one thing you're trying to solve for them, right? It's bigger than the aspirations. You can really touch people's lives, and you can have an impact on an entire community, an impact on the entire family. You can start rewriting history and breaking generational curses. You can help people see themselves completely different than what they have. You can help them do something different so they can be something different. That's valuable. And so value is in the eye of the beholder. And I want you to remember that, right? You are not a big box retailer. You are a luxury boutique that handles high-end clientele. Discounting your service does a disservice to your clients. And most importantly, you are valuable. And what you have to bring to your clients is valuable. And you have to know that. And you are so worth it. So now, before I go running out of your lives this week, I do want to extend an invitation. I want to extend an invitation to book a strategy session. If what I discussed, if you're struggling with that discounting, if you're struggling with trying to position a high ticket offer to a very specific clientele, reach out. I want to invite you to book a strategy session so that you know you're not alone. And sometimes it's just the 2%. Sometimes there's a 2% tweak that we can make that can really help you take it to that next level. Okay, so once again, I am Keita Williams, and I am the founder and chief strategist of Successfully. Thank you so much for joining us for this live stream. I can't wait to see all that you will accomplish. I can't wait to celebrate with you at the end of the week. All right, y'all, let's get after it.